Today we have the honor of listening to a speaker who is not laconic. He is ready to speak at any moment, on any opportunity. He never misses a beat. And for people like Eric, who are reluctant to speak, you can use him as an example. President John Adams once said, "Facts are stubborn things, and whatever may be our wishes, our inclinations, or the dictates of our passion, they cannot alter the state of evidence, of facts or evidence." In other words, we are all entitled to our own opinions, but none of us are entitled to our own facts, no matter how much we might want to have them. In Project 8, Get Comfortable with Visual Aids, from the Competent Communication Manual, Lloyd Smith will peer through the wishes, inclinations, and dictates of passion that surround the issue of illegal immigration and look at the stubborn facts. Help me welcome Lloyd Smith. Who's out there?
If you were watching the TV news on the weekend, you may have found out that Donald Trump had a major campaign appearance in Phoenix, Arizona. And his topic was what he had been talking about for the last couple of weeks, which is the supposed wave of Mexican illegal immigrants who have come into the country and all of the damage they're doing. The interesting thing to me was not so much Donald Trump. It's hard to know exactly why he does what he does. The guy's a showman, and a very, very good one, by the way. He's an exceptional speaker, too. He's worth listening to, even if you don't really care for what he says. But what interested me was the reaction of the audience. They were interviewing audience members afterwards, and they were explaining the dangers of this supposed wave of Mexican immigrants. And it struck me that many of them knew things that just plain weren't true. And so what I'd like to do this evening is to talk a little bit about this issue of immigrants in general in the U.S. and illegal immigrants specifically. And that's why the title of the speech is Who's Out There, because there seems to be some confusion about who really is out there in the United States. Let's take a look at a graphic. The point of this speech project is visual aids. And so here we have a sophisticated visual aid. Can everybody actually see this? Can you see it? Can you guys see it?
Oh, right. Yeah.
Okay. I gave a lot of thought to this. Seriously, I gave a lot of thought to this. What is a good way to represent the U.S. population and show what's going on with it? It's hard to see, but there are little squares on this. It's graph paper, and each one of these squares is an inch square, and each one of them represents 1 million people. And so the black outline is 320 squares. There are 320 million people in the United States as of, by the way, these are 2013 figures. The data lags by about a year because it takes a year to analyze all those stats. Now that's a lot of people, 321 million. It ranks us third in the world in terms of population. We're just behind China and India. Well, actually, we're a lot behind China and India, but we're third in the world. Now, take a look at this green bordered area. This is the number of immigrants who are in the United States, 41.3 million immigrants. Now, immigrant has a specific meaning. An immigrant is somebody who was born in another country and now lives here in the United States permanently. Now, that includes a bunch of different categories of people. It includes people who are naturalized American citizens who were born in other countries. It also includes people who are here on student visas or work permits because they're living here permanently, although they will eventually go back to their homelands. It does not include tourists because they don't live here, obviously. So you can see that this 41.3 million, that's a big number, but it's a relatively minor fraction of the overall U.S. population. Now this blue box right here is the number of illegal immigrants in the country right now, 11.2 million. It's inside of the green box because that 11.2 million is included in that 41.3 million, okay? Now, illegal immigrants are people who are here without permission. they cross the border illegally or overstay their student visas or work permits or whatever. The point is that they're called illegal because they are. It's against the law for them to be here. Now, that's 11.2 million. That's the total number of illegal immigrants in the United States. That number is in great dispute. There's a woman named Ann Coulter, who some of you have probably seen on Fox News. She's one of their more entertaining talking kids. According to her, there are a minimum of 30 million illegal immigrants, and she thinks it might be as many as 50 million. And she claims 1 million more per month are coming across the Mexican border. If you gave that a moment's thought and figured out on a daily basis, you'd realize that number is just absolutely bizarrely untrue. I saw her on TV saying that, and somebody asked her what her source was for that, and she began ranting that they must be secret liberals or something. She never did answer the question. Now, anyway, the blue box, 11.2 million illegal immigrants. The red box is the number of illegal immigrants who are from Mexico. That's 5.9 million. Here's an interesting thing that not many people realize. This is 1 million fewer people than it was 3 years ago. In other words, the number of Mexican illegal immigrants is shrinking. The reason is simple. They came here for jobs because in the Depression that started around 2007 or so, the Mexican economy just flatlined. And so waves of them came across the border looking for work. Now the Mexican economy is actually booming, and there's a net outward flow across the Mexican border. In other words, more Mexican illegals are going back to Mexico now than new ones are coming in. So it's 5.9 million. The point of all of this is this. There are people, and there are a bunch of them were on TV over the weekend, saying that these people have somehow overwhelmed the rest of the country. They've taken over. They're taking all the jobs. They're flooding the schools. They're flooding the courts and so on. It doesn't look likely. Okay, even if every single one of these 5.9 million people were criminal masterminds, the odds of them doing a lot of damage are pretty remote. Now, a couple of other things to think about here is where these people are. Obviously, they're not distributed evenly across the country. They go where there are jobs, primarily agricultural and construction jobs. It turns out there are 7 states where the unauthorized immigrant population has increased over the last 3 years. Florida, Idaho, Maryland, Nebraska, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Virginia. Notice that Arizona is not on that list. In fact, Arizona is on the list of 14 states in which the population of illegal immigrants has decreased over the last 3 years. Those states are Alabama, Arizona, California, Colorado, Georgia, Illinois, Indiana, Kansas, Kentucky, Massachusetts, Nevada, New Mexico, New York, and Oregon. Washington's not on the list because our illegal immigrant population has stayed stable over the last several years. What's the point of all of this? Well, it's hard to know. I haven't said anything about whether or not immigrants in general or illegal immigrants in particular are beneficial or harmful to the economy. That's an entirely separate topic. The point I'm trying to make here is that there is no massive wave of illegals washing across the country, taking over, as a lot of these yahoos and pinheads were saying on TV over the weekend. It's important to have a sense of perspective. And remember this diagram the next time somebody says something about the country being taken over by illegal immigrants. That's it. Oh, Mr. Toastmaster. Toastmaster voice. Thank you.
Thank you, Lloyd. That was very, very informative. Please take a moment and write your comments. Roger, your comments are valid also.